Happy Friday the 13th. Did we say we were going to start at 11? Probably. Did we start at 11? No. My wife says that I'm late to things because I get an adrenaline kick out of it, but she couldn't be more wrong. The reason I'm late is because I have an obsessive brain, you see, and that's good and bad. It's really good when it decides to latch on to something like learning how to draw, learning how to play piano, learning how to ambush in the parks. And that is harder than you would think. You would imagine that in a public park at night, because you see it in the movies and you know, someone's mugging and you're like, that seems so fun and easy. Like a really exciting game of tag. But as it turns out, it is not easy. You know, and you would think, oh, just get camouflage. You walk into a park with full camouflage on, everybody gets triggered. So backpack with camouflage on, change in a bush. You do that, then you go through like a period, an unclothed period in a bush. And that draws other people in the park who are doing different kinds of fun things. And then it just turns into a cuddle puddle. And then you get distracted. So there's an art to it. But the point is, it's really bad when my brain locks onto like video games. That's pretty much like going into a coma for me because it's wild, man. Like just the brakes are not on the car. And I finally have overcome what has been a debilitating and brutal, perhaps the most brutal addiction with video games I've ever had, which is I thought, you know, let me revisit Baldur's Gate 3. I got access to the early like beta version of it and I played it for a long time, got to the end of Act 1, got to the basically where the beta stopped, assuming I'd be able to take my save file from there and use it once the actual game came out. But no, they want you to start completely over. And because it was my first run, it was a very slow run. I didn't realize there's like, once you learn how to do it, Act 1 goes by really fast. That's nerd talk. It doesn't matter. The point is, I thought I'd, revisit, started a new character, and that was it. I was sucked into this terrible digital cyclone, and I couldn't stop. And I just couldn't believe it. Just, if you ever read Ender's Game, there's some game that kid played in it. Orson Scott Card's Ender's Game. It's very good. And I remember when I was a kid reading that and thinking, one day there's going to be video games like that. And that's Baldur's Gate 3. It's just a perfect game. It's insanely good, insanely like, I don't know, whoever made it is a lunatic for sure. Like there's no reason for something to be that detailed. There's no reason that there could be infinite sort of timelines that appear based on stupid decisions you make. And also the reason I get addicted to games like that and the reason I get addicted to roguelike games is that my brain likes to like do things over and over and over again. Like I don't think I'm autistic, but I'm not far away from it if, in some light version of it. Like I'm sure that when I was a kid, like God only knows what the fuck they were injecting into my sweet little baby body. But the point is when it latches onto something creative, it's amazing, but horrible in a different way. Because then I actually make stuff, but for those of you who deal with this kind of shit, which is in Gen Pop, I believe they call it ADHD, you know what it's like when you start going on something, which is that you get this unnerving like time warp. It's unnerving, which is I will sit down to start working on something and it'll feel like seconds have passed and I'll look up and hours have passed. And it really just feels like a blink of an eye. It's crazy. I remember the first time I experienced it, I didn't make anything for a while after that just because I was so freaked out by what that was like. When I do stand-up, it happens too, or I'll get on stage and then suddenly you're just getting off stage. It's beautiful and crazy. But all of that rambling is to introduce something I've been working on. And this is not the thing itself, but this is what my brain is now currently and hopefully will stay latched onto. I'm still trying to figure out how to put all the pieces together, and this won't be the actual like promo that I use for it, but I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek of it. because it kind of has within it all the stuff I've been working on. And the name of the show is Slop. Go ahead and roll it, Josh.
Maybe you've noticed that things seem a little off these days. Their chemical composition is identical.
There'll be some audio there. Just have time.
Green smoke blowing from Mama Earth. Is that a volcano or is she giving birth?
It feels like I've been here forever.
You aren't in a simulator, you stoner, but you are in hell, and all your friends are demons.
Let the song play.
You're in hell, and all of your friends are demons.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yes, sir.
That's just been like it's just, I must be so annoying to be around at my house because, like, you know, in a computer when the rainbow wheel is spinning, and it's like that where I'm trying to piece together I'm trying to piece together what it is, and that's where I'm kind of stuck. But because like, you know, that I have a lot of ideas about ways to make it more coherent and stuff, and the way I make things is, you know, I is the worst way to make things if you want to like finish something, which is, you know, people I know successfully create things. They don't do it. It's like if you're making a TV show, you don't like grab a camera and just like film shit. You come up with a map, a plan, you break it down, and it's usually they're very organized and like they know what they want. Whereas like I like to just kind of figure it out as I go along. And so that creates this protracted, frustrating process that quite often ends in me being too much of a pussy and saying, I'm not going to do it. But this one I'm pretty excited about what it is. And you're definitely going to see the first episode of it soon. And hopefully I'll be able to figure out a way to streamline it. But the tech is now at a place where we can make a TV show sitting, like laying in our bed. And that's incredible to me that you could do that. And I'm learning so much about Google's VO. Like I'm coming up with all these tricks for how to make like scenes more like make characters look the same and all the challenges people are having in this phase of it. And then it's not just going to be all AI. It's going to be mixed in with like, you know, actual footage of stuff. Which, by the way, as I've been working on this, the more I work on it, the more I realize, oh yeah, dude, it would be so nice to just have a fucking actor and a camera and not have to like articulate to some goddamn neural network like what I want, because it's like working with like somebody who like is getting outside their lane. You know, it wants to help a little bit. And so it just interprets one word. And the next thing you know, something you wanted to be in an apocalyptic wasteland is in London. And it's like, what? Didn't you want it in London? London, you said king. You said king. Let's make the background London. Dude, relax. Why can't I participate? So it's like that. And then it's each one of these iterations of it cost like, I don't know, $1.50. Oh, good. And this is my favorite part of Slop. And this is one of the things I'm most excited about. Slurm says, God forbid you learn an artistic skill that you can monetize to your heart. Oh, I don't know if you were dissing it. I'm looking forward to the AI disses because it really infuriates people. And I'm sorry, but that just, I get a charge out of that. I'm going to admit it. I don't want to be that kind of like vampire that like actually gets a charge out of it, but Oh, sorry, Shern. Self-banned for 5 minutes for being confusing on there. Self-banned for 2 minutes. You didn't mean to. 1 minute, self-ban. But yeah, sorry, Shern. I was just so excited because I'm like, oh yeah, I did it. Triggered an AI denier.
Here's one.
Where? Show me.
This one.
Vermiculous. Let me take the sunglasses off for that. I don't even know why I'm wearing these. It just makes you look so dumb. Vermiculous. The AI just ruins artistic expression by compressing it into unrecognizable stolen content compressed into a mashup of nonsense, says Vermiculous. Oh my God. Perfectly articulated, Vermiculous. You're absolutely right. Thus the name of the show, Slop. And it's not just that, it's like, I think Vermiculous, your critique of AI, you might not recognize this, but let's read Vermiculous's what he said, because that is a really good, and I would say like a very concise summation of one of the best critiques of this bullshit. The AI just ruins artistic expression by compressing it into unrecognizable stolen content compressed into a mashup of nonsense. You see, what I love about that critique, Vermiculous, is you might not even realize it, but you are also critiquing the human brain simultaneously, because that's what the human brain does. That's what the human brain does. That's what every dream you have is your brain. I mean, not everything you look up at is stolen content, but any any book you read, any song you listen to, any great work of art you look at, it gets in there somehow. And usually when you talk to an artist, they will tell you, well, my inspiration was blah, 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 blah. And you kind of see glimpses of that in their work because their brain has done exactly what you're talking about, because these things are neural networks. But in this case, the problem, you could argue, is that it's just being trained on infinite content. It doesn't go out in the world. It's not being inspired by watching a bird land on a branch or something like that. All that being said, one of the most fascinating issues right now when it comes to AI is beginning to train on AI. So, whoa, now there's so much AI content out there, which I'm happily going to be adding to, that the AI is like essentially like eating its own shit and then regurgitating it. And so I love that too, because like I find myself at night on Instagram Reels, something that my wife like says is a mark of age. And I'll send her a reel that I think is good, and she'll be like, "That was on TikTok 4 months ago," and like, you know what I mean? Like, why even say that? Why? Okay, you saw it. I didn't know that. I don't know everything you see. Why age shame me? So, but I don't care. Reels is sophisticated. Reels is sophisticated, guys. TikTok's for kids. Reels is for mature adults. And I'll flip through these things and realize that, as above, so below, and the way that AI is training on AI and spitting out increasingly bizarre, garbagey things via our addiction to our phones, we are observing this content that is becoming increasingly homogenous. But the homogenization is fascinating in that the homogenization is absurd and warped. So, that's sort of what I'm going for here, is just trying to like find like the main sort of currents of slop out there, but mostly human slop. And I say human slop because when you see like 500 different versions of the exact same person essentially saying the exact same thing, like I could go through a few of them. It's like one classic is, this is a classic. If you feel alone, rejected, or sad, if you feel like people aren't accepting the art that you're putting out, you should know that every great artist has experienced this at one point or another. Keep pushing. You can do this. So that's the inspirational thing. Usually it's in a car which is weird. Usually it's some dude sitting in a car. Looks like the Adderall just kicked in, and they're like trying to send like a dopamine infused inspirational message. And I think it's sweet. But then when you realize, because one of those got 1 billion views, suddenly there's lots of dudes in cars giving inspirational messages. It's so weird. And then of course you've got like the classic conspiratorial thing, which is like my favorite right now is the genre of timeline shifts. So it's like, hey, are you noticing you feel a little strange right now? If you've been getting headaches, insomnia, projectile vomiting, if there's blood in your diarrhea, have you noticed trembling in your hands? Do you have blurry vision after you eat? Are you wanting to take naps? Have you noticed that you're peeing all night long? This is because we've had another timeline shift. Uranus and Neptune have come into alignment, which produced a massive radical timeline shift, meaning that we have now entered into the most extreme timeline shift, and sensitive people are going to be experiencing this. If you aren't experiencing this, you should look into your heart and try to understand what's going on, because it could be that you are in the other timeline, which is going to end. So it's like versions of the timeline shift thing. And then there's another favorite of mine is like people who just don't seem to understand like science, people who don't understand like that the sun changes its position in the sky, or that, there are like definitely particulates in the atmosphere that could change the way the sun looks. But there's people who will say the sun is turning colors. Have you seen those? Those are my favorite.
My favorite is the one where they put a towel against the bathroom mirror, and then they have somebody film. They're like, how is it seeing me right now?
I love it. And this is, this is a kind of contagion that happens, which is really funny because, and look, let me just say this. When I saw the towel mirror idiot trap, I was trapped. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? How is that possible? And then you just scroll through the comments and some exasperated like college student explains why that's happening. It's so funny because all of these, especially that particular type of distortion, spawns these mini Neil deGrasse Tysons who have to like get in the comment thread and it's just shoveling shit against the tide. They're like trying to like assuage the flow of slop into the world, but you can't stop it. So yeah, I'm just having a blast making this thing, and I won't get into like the story I'm going to try to tell with it, but that's what I'm working on. Now, friends, welcome. For those of you just joining us, it's Friday the 13th, and I'm sure you guys have been watching what is fucking happening right now, and it is blowing my mind. Did you find any, can you see if you could find any kind of like what we were talking about? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because, guys, this is like, I honestly was up later than I wanted to be last night. But let's just take a look at what's going on out there. This is going to be triggering for some of you.
I was feeling like low-key sad that all these people were waiting in line for a Switch and I wasn't able to get one, and then my other Nintendo Switch stopped working.
Damn.
So I was like, man, let me just buy
Got a Wick.
So I ended up buying these.
That's cool. He got a John Wick.
And you know what, man, fuck it. I ended up grabbing these cards too. They're new.
Oh, hell yeah. I got some Attack on Titan cards.
Yo,
Let's show some more of this. Guys, this is just like, to me, I get a little creeped out that this stuff is happening on Friday the 13th. Don't you, Josh? That it's like, it's weird that this is, look at that. Got that audio, man. Look at that. This is pretty mind-blowing. I'm sorry if this is freaking you guys out, but look at that line, man. All these people waiting in line to get the new Switch. They're on their computers. You've got people checking out their phones. You got some lattes happening there. People brought camping chairs. Somebody parked his bike on the sidewalk. A complete dick. You got coolers. This is crazy, man. We have got to talk about this because, before this even happened, we saw the parades. If you joined me for my last live podcast, we covered the parades that have been happening all over the nation. And then on top of these parades, Nintendo releases Switch 2. And there are a lot. If you are near a GameStop, I would not recommend going there because there are lines everywhere, just around the block. You know, I was trying to get into a massage place, wonderful massage place, full body massages, and couldn't get through because there was like 3 like fucking pissed off dudes with Pokemon backpacks, bullied the shit out of me. They're like, "You're not gonna break in line, dude." I'm like, "Dude, I'm going to get a fucking quote massage, man. I'm not getting a Switch. I just got the fucking Steam Deck, and before I even paid attention to Switches coming out, and now my fucking Steam Deck won't goddamn run like the shit I wanted to play because I got the Steam Deck because I don't want to get one of those other fucking handheld PC bullshit things because the reviews I read said there's like lots of setup and I don't have time to do that. I'm older, man, and you know it's just like sometimes to blow off steam, I like to get a quote massage, and I'm not getting a fucking Switch. All right, I'm not falling for it again. I'll be honest with you, man. I think a lot of the Nintendo games are kind of baby games. Did I like the new Zelda? Yeah, but still, it gives me an empty feeling playing those fucking games. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to fucking pull up Mario Kart. I want a grown-up game. The only reason I got the Switch was so I could play Baldur's Gate on a fucking airplane. And then the fucking Baldur's Gate, for no reason at all, made it so you can't get past a certain fucking level. Like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, really? I can only get to level 12? Why? What? Why? Why not let me get to level 20? Why not let me be so OP that I can kill everyone in Baldur's Gate just because I'm fucking bored, Larian? What's your problem? And why did you make it so when I tried to pickpocket Asterion in my second playthrough, he tried to kill me, and then when I attacked him, he turned to stone and died, but I forgot to save, and I'd gotten that stupid demon prince to drop the fire sword, and I didn't want to go back into the Ithalid ship again and run through that, so now I have to do a playthrough without Asterion, I guess, who was one of my favorite characters in the game. And they were like, "Dude, heard it before." No. So yeah, don't go to a GameStop. What, do you got any more GameStop lines? Because this is blowing my mind. Look at that, guys. See that symbol? Go back to that symbol. What was that? Pause on that symbol.
Or was it?
Watch. Just watch. See, I catch things like bam. Did you see that? What was that? What was that?
I think it was a Hail Satan.
I don't know, man, but they are sending symbols. They are like I don't know what that is. And I wouldn't go. They're aggressive. These dudes are, look at that guy. Is there a way to zoom in on his face?
No.
Do a screenshot and there you go. Screenshot it, zoom in. I just want to show you guys this. Like, yeah, let's do a zoom in.
1 second.
Dude, you know what that symbol is. I know what that symbol is. You know what that symbol is? Look at that. That's the ISIS thing.
And he has a Hitler mustache.
Look at that. What's he pointing to? What's up there? You know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about, man. There's some shady characters in these GameStop lines. And these are all over the country right now. They're everywhere. And that's what we're going to be covering because that's like what's been going on. I mean, dude, did you tell me, Josh, you kind of keep your ear to the tracks on this stuff. Like, and on some of the forums I was going on, there was stuff saying like right around the parades, there's going to be this like global event that happens. And, when I read that, I'm thinking like, that's going to be like a Middle East thing. I didn't realize that they were talking about these GameStop lines, but I'm worried about, this is the first time I've been legitimately worried about a civil war in the United States.
You shouldn't be worried. You're good, specifically.
Why am I
you're
good?
There's people
I hate Switch.
There's people within the GameStop community, which I am a part of, If you buy their stonk, then you're part of that.
I made a lot of money on GameStop.
Yeah, it recently went down by a lot, about 22%, and that's part of the plan. That's part of the plan.
How so?
You got to get all the bears to think that they're gonna win, and that's when you get them.
Oh, you mean so basically like you sell a bunch of your stock, then you hope the short they'll short it.
They
Is that
pile in. They pile in. Ryan Cohen goes and buys a shitload of Bitcoin.
Who's
with it.
Ryan Cohen?
He is the CEO of GameStop.
Isn't that illegal?
No, it's actually the new money glitch in Japan. They used to have that where you can go borrow money, Japanese yen, for 0% interest, and then go buy something. And so is the carry trade. And now,
Wait, I don't understand. You borrow money in yen, then you buy something with it, and then what?
and then you pay off that loan, but it's at 0%, so it's free money, is what it is.
Why were they doing that? That's crazy. How much? There had to be a maximum to that, though.
No maximums. As long as you were able to have good credit and they liked you, you were able to do it. Now the new money glitch is you sell your stock and you buy Bitcoin with it.
You think people should? What's Bitcoin at right now? You think people
It's at
should?
105,000. It went down because some things overseas, people were a little scared, and went down. And the smart ones
What
bought more.
overseas?
It was a thing that happened with
GameStop stuff?
It was included with GameStop had something to do with it. I mean, not officially, but yeah, GameStop had something to do with it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's weird. Like one of the clips of those lines, like I didn't even see a GameStop. It just looked like people running around and shit, and like somebody was blowing like huge vape clouds or something, and they were running around. Didn't even look like it was in the United States. But, dude, so you would actually recommend that people buy Bitcoin right now at $103,000 a Bitcoin?
I would not recommend anything. I think you have to do what your heart
You are
and
not
soul
a
tells you.
financial advisor.
Correct.
Nor am I. I am definitely not a financial advisor.
But
Like I'm pretty much the farthest thing from a financial advisor that anyone should have. But when I see $103,000 of Bitcoin, first of all, it's like, how much? Like, I don't understand it in the sense that, like, what is the value there other than like, isn't it a pyramid scheme? Like, in other words, like, okay, I want to buy one Bitcoin now. I'm not going to invest $103,000 into one Bitcoin, but you can buy fractional bits of Bitcoin.
Satoshis.
You can buy Satoshis. So, you know, if I'm investing $5,000 into a fraction of a Bitcoin, for that to have any kind of return, Bitcoin would have to go not just to like a historic level, to like a level that doesn't make sense regarding value of things in the world. Like at some point, isn't the value of Bitcoin going to surpass the value of everything on Earth?
It will be equal to.
How is that possible?
So rich people right now, they go and they buy property and then they never put anybody in that property because they're just holding their money, right?
Yeah.
But they still have to do upkeep and pay taxes and all that.
I love that. I love having that. All my properties are empty as hell, and hundreds of them.
So instead of that,
I will go and like get an entire apartment complex, and nobody's moving in. You know, I love it. It's fun. They call and they're like, "Hey, you know, there's a housing problem in the city. Notice, no, it doesn't seem like any cars were in the parking lot of your beautiful apartment building." I do great upkeep too. I mean, they're nice fountains, like greenery. It's beautiful. And I don't even go in there. I just have the people go in there and clean. But yeah, they'll call me up and say, "Hey, you know, I connected some dots here. I was wondering if I could move in." And I'm like, "Okay, sure. Let me run your credit." I do that every time. Make them pay for it. And then I run their credit. And no matter what their credit is, I'm like, "Sorry, your credit's not high enough." And my favorite is when they have a perfect score. And they're like, "Wait, what are you talking about? I have a perfect score." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't just base it on that." And they're like, "What do you mean you don't base it on that?" I'm like, "There's other things I can see. And I can't see anything but the credit score. I just go on Credit Karma."
you only have 500 Instagram followers. You cannot move in.
You can't legally say that, but you can definitely deny someone for credit score. But it's so fun. And then they get so upset They're like, your place is like one of the only open spots in the city. Like, I need to, like, I moved here, my job's here. I literally cannot find anywhere to live. And it's like, that is just so funny to me. It's so beta.
Well, also it could help people because BlackRock, Vanguard, they're buying whole subdivisions of homes, pricing people out
My
of their
friend's
homes.
over at BlackRock. He's cool as hell.
Well, he's buying
Great company.
He's buying everybody's homes, and that's why they're so expensive.
Okay, so I see where you're going with this.
Yes.
And Josh, I'm going to red pill you now.
Okay.
So when my friend Cenk, I won't give his last name, approaches a homeowner and says, I'm going to buy your home. I want to buy it. How much? And they will give him a number. And, he's figured out they have an AI or something that does an analysis. Sometimes he gets a private investigator to follow him around. So kind of like, what's going on with this person? And then there's a percentage BlackRock has that's almost 100% accurate. Usually it's about 30% less than what they want. And so he'll offer 40% less and then gives them this rush of they'll go up to 30% less, which is the exact number they knew they were going to pay. It's an AI. It's cool. They work with Palantir too. Really great company. And so then he buys the house, but I think you're forgetting one part of the equation. The homeowner sold the house. Mm-hmm. So, but you're going to blame BlackRock. Don't sell your house.
I'm going to blame BlackRock for
what? Being a great company?
Well, when you buy 100 homes all at once, it cuts the little guy out because they can go lower.
Oh, really? But so the 100 homeowners who are like, yeah, sure, I'll sell you my house.
People are sellouts.
How don't you? Okay, but why don't you blame them?
Because they're poor.
I get you. Shouldn't you just as easily blame those 100 people for selling their house instead of a wonderful company? Great benefits, an incredible community. The BlackRock community is amazing. I've gone to some of their volleyball games. They're so fun. They do tours of Egypt, which I love. Went on a tour of Egypt, BlackRock tour of Egypt, which was incredible. Did a BlackRock tour to Machu Picchu, which was so fun. And what's really cool, I guess I shouldn't leak this, but they're going to buy Machu Picchu. Isn't that awesome?
I'm more of a Vanguard guy, but
Oh, Vanguard's fine. I mean, we beat their ass at fucking volleyball. I'll tell you that. I'm not even in. I don't even work for BlackRock. I just respect what they do, and I'm an early investor. I did invest in them some time ago. Great company.
They're buying a bunch of Bitcoin right now.
Of course, why not? Why not? I mean, the point is this: just guys, can you pull up the letter? I'm just going to read this, and it really pisses me off. Pull up the letter Luigi Mangione sent. Here you have an incarcerated murderer. Now, look. First of all, let me just show. This is the media mob. Luigi Mangione pens astonishing letter of gratitude, listing all the things he's thankful for after his birthday. Jeffrey Dahmer wrote a sweet letter. Oh, look at this sweet letter Adolf Hitler sent to his niece. Now, let's read this. He's 27 years old. The accused assassin of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. He's we know what happened there. The whole they did the distortion where there's one picture of one dude who they think did it and it doesn't look anything like him, but it's, trust me, this is what we're dealing with, folks. Now, let's go to this letter here. Where is it? Of course, they're not going to show the fucking letter, are they? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm just going to read some of this, and I'm going to try not to puke. Last month on May 6th, I turned 27 years old. To mark the occasion, look, he wrote some kind of weird shit at the top. The little code up there, the triangle, whatever that is, OnlyFans or what? It's probably his old OnlyFans. And also, did my wife follow him on OnlyFans? Yes. Okay, so a lot of people are going to be like, you're just fucking pissed because your wife, I don't know how much money. I don't even want to know. But a lot of money she did send to his OnlyFans. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Some kind of thing where you can listen to influencers talk or something. But the family, my personal life is none of your business, so he's rude. The many talented and generous individuals who, if not for my current predicament, you're in jail. You could just say, because I'm in jail. I never would have crossed paths with the many talented and blah, 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 blah. My cellmate, Jay, who despite spending half of every day inside his shared birdcage, wee, wee. Oh, I'm sorry. What do you want to? This is the kind of guy who calls to get into my places. He wants to thank the conservatives who fiercely conserve the aspects of our society. Oh, and he's going to thank the liberals. Being born in America. Listen to this. Haunted by her past. She's sick. She's plagued by inner turmoil, such as her nature as a nation of individuals. She is young in the midst of an adolescent identity crisis, but despite all her flaws, her frame is robust. And just get that off my screen. Just get that off my screen. You know, man, it's like you read a letter like that, and if you are not equipped with cognitive security, if you don't have the immune system that this bearded beauty has, then you're going to read that and think, my God, he seems kind of brilliant. You're going to read that and think, holy shit, man, that, I bet if they like locked up one of the founding fathers, he'd send a letter like that. You're going to read that and you're going to think that kind of seems like everything you read about, in the past in America. These like incredible individuals emerge and they, throw away their lives in some like cause or something like that. You're going to read that and you're going to think, wow, I wonder if the guy who denied health care to countless people so that they died wrote letters like that to anybody. And all those things will come through your mind and you cut them out. You don't let yourself think those thoughts. One of the people who comes, I will not name his name, one of the people who comes to the BlackRock volleyball games is a CEO for a very, very big insurance company. I am not good at volleyball. I practice. I got a coach. I do like to do my best, especially at these BlackRock volleyball games. They get heated. And some lady spiked the volleyball right into my nose. And it bled. It was bleeding everywhere. And you know the first person who came to help me? That insurance company CEO. He ran over there. He's like, dude, let me help you. He did that thing you see in movies. He put my nose back into place. You see, it didn't fully heal, but he patted me on the back. He was so kind, so compassionate. And, I did go to the hospital, but I have really great insurance, so they covered everything. And, just to think like this, that these sweet people are being so just dragged for what? I mean, don't, really until you met one of these wonderful men, primarily men, you really should like it. I'm still mourning for that CEO. What was his name? The
Angel?
CEO, the CEO he shot, his name was Angel?
No, I just call him Angel.
That's why I love you, man. I mean, it is when I saw that footage. That's so funny because I said it's like what I said it to my wife. I'm like, that's like watching an angel fall. And then she, like, looking at the footage, was like, said Luigi? And I'm like, who's Luigi? But like, yeah, I guess she recognized him from his OnlyFans, just from the like way he walked, or I don't know, his upper body. And I'm like, so when he got busted in the McDonald's, which, by the way, if you really care about your health, you're going to eat at a McDonald's. Was it a McDonald's?
I thought it was a Starbucks.
I think he got busted at McDonald's. But, if you're going to eat at a McDonald's and then you're like, oh, no, I'm sick. And now we like have to cry for you. One day, I think I'm going to do a month of insurance company CEOs. Just so you guys get a chance to meet them. And like, when they deny people, they don't wanna, they get broken up over it, man. Like when they deny health care to children, it just eats them alive. I went to a BlackRock, we were in Machu Picchu. And again, I'm not gonna mention the name of the CEO. And it was beautiful, man, because like BlackRock cares about their employees. They didn't just get everybody out of fucking Machu Picchu. They cleared 15 miles a perimeter, 15 miles. They got the squatters out. So you have, because people squat out there in the, did you know that?
No, I had no idea.
Oh yeah. The shanty towns. They build these fucking huts and shit out there. But they cleared a 15-mile perimeter around Machu Picchu, which made us all feel safe. And we are just like, my God, this is so beautiful. If you guys have ever been to Machu Picchu, it's incredible. Mystical place, mystical. And I guess that CEO had just denied the claim of whatever you can't play favorites here. And so I guess this kid had the claim was for asthma, and the fucking kid's doctor called up the CEO, and somehow they put him through as an accident, but he had to take the call. And the doctor's like, dude, I am a doctor. I went to medical school. This kid has asthma. Like, his family can't afford the medicine he needs. Like, he could die. And the CEO was like, do you understand that if I say yes to this, then I have to say yes to like people who aren't being honest in their claims? And honestly, I don't think you're being honest in your claims, and had that doctor investigated. Now, as it turns out, that doctor had been giving quote, free healthcare to people.
Oof.
I know, meaning completely unregulated. And doctor probably is in the same jail as Mangione now. But that's how much they care. They care. So, we have to really start thinking in this country about the direction things are going in, because it's like King Kong. You know what I mean? Like King Kong falls in love with that beautiful woman. I think they made love. I don't know how, but I'm pretty sure they fucked. And he climbs up a building because he's in love, throwing planes down. He's pissed. And I'm sorry, but if you watch that and you feel any shred of compassion for King Kong, if you look at that and you think like that's obviously a representation for what happens when human beings interfere with natural order, and really that's the symbol of like what used to be being destroyed by what is now, or any of that hippie bullshit, then you might have toxoplasmosis, bro. Yeah. You might have to pull up a GameStop line.
My wife's at one right now.
What?
My wife is at a GameStop line right now.
What's she getting switched to? Get that off my screen. Get that off my screen.
Get it off. All right. Yeah, she was going to get you a Switch, but now
what?
that I know, she was going to get you a Switch, but now that I know you don't like them.
I mean, maybe for my kids or something. I would never play it, but probably for my kids it might be. I mean, that wouldn't be bad. I'm not going to say no. What do you mean? Tell her to get it.
Okay.
Are you serious?
Here's another line.
Just take a look at this, man. Take a look at that. All those kids. You look at that and you're like, man, I would not let my kid go out and stand in line at a GameStop. Like, what are they doing? Like, I guess it's summer.
Well, that's why my kids are here, because my wife's at the GameStop. So.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I'm a good dad at least.
Yeah. But look at that. What do you got? 10-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 7-year-olds? I wouldn't give my kid a phone either. Standing in line at what's Prismatic? Is Prismatic Evolutions the name of the new Switch? Are they even getting the new Switch? What are they fucking get? Can you look up Prismatic Evolutions? I'm about to feel old. Oh, it's for the new Pokemon cards. See, I was wrong. I should have known. Because, we all know Switch is more of an adult thing. Like, there's a lot of adult games coming to the new Switch. But Pokemon is a kid's game. So it makes sense now. There are all those kids out there getting Pokemon cards. Totally makes sense. My kids love Pokemon. Are your kids into Pokemon?
We let them play, but we do tell them it is Satan and you're catching demons. So they know at least.
Yeah, that's good, man. It's good to keep your kids like really focused on Satan. Can you pull up opening Pokemon cards? I've been watching these because my kids just got into Pokemon. I'm trying to be a cool dad and become familiar with
Nutrish.
turn that Nutrish. By the way, just stop it right there because I think we should address this. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but there is a whole new like kind of product that has emerged on the market, which is fancy dog food. Hopefully they're not sponsoring this episode. And I was watching, I'm realizing there's so many of these fancy dog foods out there. Like, what is this? And I realized like that is the easiest shit to sell because no one's tasting their dog's food. Nobody is getting Rachel Ray's dog food and testing it to make sure it's good. So they just get deals with slaughterhouses and they're like, give us your worst meat. How much do you want for your worst meat? Then they show a picture of a bag of steak they've cut up, organic steak. They got it from Whole Foods. And then they say, this is what we send your dog. It's like steak. It's like cut up bits of fresh steak. And then they just send your dog just pig bladders, just ground up pig bladders and shit rats ground up in it. But they package it in this thing. You're like, I trust Rachel Ray. And then you just are feeding your dog just like shit they probably wouldn't even feed a pig. But you can sell bags of just ground up pig brain matter, all the rotten shit that they can't sell anymore. The stuff that was on the container ships that sat in the sun a little too long. They just send that to some warehouse, throw that slop in a box, call it like canines. What's Rachel? You know what? Fuck the Pokemon thing. We'll come back to that. Pull up Rachel Ray's new dog food. And I don't know. I mean, again, I guess I have to say this. Maybe it is everything she says, but I'm going to feel a little skeptical about that.
What's this one?
Yeah, let's watch. Nutrish. Every bag helps. Okay, wait. Now look. She scoops up. That ain't what's on the, you look at the bag. You think you're going to pull up some peas, freshly cut, beautifully marbled meat. Looks like there's some Parmesan in the back there. This dog is like, fuck you. You brainwashed piece of shit. This is no different than any other garbage, the last garbage you gave me. But that's dog food is like, man, we should make a DTFH dog food line.
Oh, one that makes dogs harder.
Oh, god damn, a collaboration with Blue Chew.
Yep.
Get your dog's fucking dick out and hard. Everyone loves that when the dog's dick comes out.
Yeah. The kids laugh. Lipstick.
Lipstick. It's so fun. Everyone loves. Nothing is more wonderful than when you are on the couch, Netflix and chill with your old lady, kissing, and you look over and your dog's dick has come out. Mm-hmm. It's so hot. It's so hot.
And it's embarrassing when your dog can't, get it up, and then your friends.
Well, they get old.
laugh.
They get old. It happens to people, Josh.
Not with your food though. With your food, it'll bring them back.
Well, does that? What are you saying here? What's the real thing you're saying?
I'm saying you should create a food that
I'm over 50, right?
dogs
I have
rock
one ball.
hard.
No, that's not really what you're saying.
for older dogs.
I'm not a dog.
Humans can eat the dog food
Yeah,
too.
I have a little problem right now. All right. So just say that. If you want to confront me regarding what's going on right now with me, go ahead, but just don't use the whole dog symbolism thing. I'm not a dog. Just pull up the Pokemon thing. Man,
It's a rough subject.
that was a very passive aggressive. That was weird.
I apologize.
No, you that's not the kind of thing you apologize about. Now let's look at this kid opening Pokemon cards.
It's a big kid.
I know, yeah, healthy kid. Isn't this fun?
Ooh.
You could probably do the audio, maybe. I just want to hear this kid's voice.
Rattata and a Dodrio Hollow.
Yeah,
Right,
isn't that
so
cool?
Every 20
Kids
packs
love
is-
this shit, man. And pull up another kid doing Pokemon. I got to get my kid on, doing a show. Please, just don't show that. I don't want that on. Just take that off. I hate that shit. What are they doing? They're like in their 20s. Pull up an actual fucking kid. This is the shit that this shit makes me sick. Because it's like, guys, if you're a grown-ass fucking man, don't play it. Just pull it up. This shit pisses me off. There's this kid. Okay, so that's who should be opening the Pokemon cards. The kid. Can you fast forward? There's a grown-ass man. Dude. Listen, maybe this is a crusty take. But I'm sorry. If you're a fucking grown-ass dude, he looks like he just got in from the bank or whatever. He's wearing his fucking banker shirt. If you're a grown-ass dude, like, what are you doing? Like, you got to really think for a second, man, about reality. Not like I've been brainwashed reality. Not the reality that this man is living in. Because I'm sorry, but if you just pause for a moment, unplug from your world of Pokemon and take a look out your window. You got parade season in full effect. You've got fucking Pokemon riots happening in Iran. And you're a grown-ass man. Like, do you really want to be like some kind of 30-year-old like larva just suckling at the teats of Satan? Like, because the entire system is supporting your Pokemon. Like, the moment the lights go out, what are you going to fucking do? This man has no idea how to... I don't think this man has high situational awareness, is all I'm going to say. He's got that look in his eye, like you know, that weird, like, I've been brainwashed look. He's got that fake smile. He's losing his teeth. Not even brushing his fucking teeth. Teeth are fucking falling out. That implies meth addiction. And... so he's probably just doing rails of meth, opening Pokemon cards, taking out credit loans from the bank that he works at. It's probably embezzling. And yeah, get that off my screen. I'm sorry. I'm a little grumpy today, man. I'm sorry. Find like an actual kid. These are all grown-ups. There you go. It's that guy again. This
Pokemon
kid.
card collecting. Most of you
Yeah.
that watch this channel have had a collection
Fun
or
kid.
collect now. I mean, whether the
I
stuff
guess
is
take the sound up, but yeah, now here we have a kid. Now, a lot of, you know, the beard thing is like, yeah, also my kids do fake beards too. They love it. We just put some rubber cement and shave one of the dogs and smear it on their face. They love it. It stays on for a while too. But, you know, this kid, just pause for a second. This kid's got a fun playroom. He's in the playroom. He's got all his toys in the background and he's having fun. And also we get our kids' eyebrows done too, just like this kid. And this is like a classic American kid. And pull up one of these GameStop lines.
Oh, it's the same one.
That's fine. These are, you know, I don't think it's cool to let your kid go to GameStop with unsupervised, but, you know, I think that's dangerous because there could be like some like, you know, I would worry, especially after seeing that little blonde fascist fuck. I would be worried that an adult like might come into that line. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's weird because, you know, these are kids just enjoy, like there's a classic American kid. He's
Innocent child.
An innocent child, a little, you know, sweet baby. And that little baby just looks like he just had a belly full of milk, I'm guessing, and a couple glasses of milk, maybe some cookies, pizza, macaroni and cheese, some, and, you know, like my kids don't eat vegetables. It's hard to get a kid to eat vegetables, so I'm not going to. But, yeah, just, like, enjoy, probably, you know, probably, like, FaceTiming with his mom. He's maybe, I don't know, like in the car waiting for him. But, yeah, this is a really weird time. Everything's flipped upside down. You got, like, you know, thank God, I guess, that we live in an America where kids can like wait in line and be safe. But you know, I just feel like there's like all of these like adults that are impinging on like kids' spaces. All right, let's take some questions from the chat.
Can we get an update on your feud with MrBeast?
Absolutely, James. Absolutely. Will you pull up MrBeast YouTube? I just want to show something that happened here. Okay, so take a look at my thumbnail. All right, now take a look at MrBeast's thumbnail. And these stalking tactics will not stand. Scroll down a little bit. Yeah, I guess open all of them.
We're going on some of the most
Scroll down a little bit.
There he is.
So, yeah, I mean, is that a coincidence? That's MrBeast's thumbnail. Now pull up. Can you pull up my thumbnail?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that. Is that a coincidence? Like, that is not a... Is it a coincidence that at the initiation of Operation Beast Blast, which I will explain for those of you who don't know what that is, we do have time now, I mentioned my plan for the pyramids, and then just look up MrBeast Goes to the Pyramids. Boom. I spent 100 hours inside the pyramids. Now, I'm going to send this to you, Josh. This is the old Operation Beast Blast announcement that I made. Let me see if I can just dig this out of my computer. Let's see if we still have that. Beast Blast. Let's see if I can find that. I did make a promo video.
Wow. Joey here is saying that you took it from him.
Self-ban 20 minutes. I'm not even going to respond to that other than just self-ban. That's fucked up. Oh, really, Joey? I guess I am going to respond. Really, huh, Joey? So you're that kind of person. You're that kind of person. A debunker. Are you proud of yourself for lying? Does it make you feel proud that you just lied? Because I would be mortified that I just... It's like, what does your butthole type? Because that, you know what I mean? That sounds like somebody with one of those, like incredibly dexterous buttholes. And you just shove your computer under your ass and type. Say, what did he say again?
He said that there's proof that he has proof that it came out a month earlier than yours.
They always do. So I guess now what are we going to go to the Supreme Court? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you have proof, you know? I have proof that you're typing with your asshole and it's your post. So who's worse? Self-ban 20 minutes. Well, I'm going to bring it down to 15. Time served.
And chat, let's not dox him. I see an address on there. Do not dox him.
Who?
There is an address on here.
For me?
No, not for you. For Joey.
What the fuck, Joey? Get your fucking address off the internet, man. Seriously. Like, don't even say, like, nobody do that. That's so messed up. Who would put their address on the goddamn internet? That's probably not his address. Like make it so people can't see that. That's terrible. Why would you do that? Jesus Christ, Joey. Now I feel bad for you. Please don't do that. Don't dox yourself. Please don't do that. That's messed up, man. Are you sure? Show me that, Josh. Is there a way you could just show me?
Yeah, give me 1 sec.
I don't think anybody watching this is going to, like, do anything, but whoa, man. I'm pretty sure you probably shit disturb in other, like, sanctified communities like this.
Oh, now everybody's putting their address.
Come on, Samoltsi Road. But we don't know that that's their address.
No, somebody else. Joey's address is, and they put that.
Dr. LaFluette, 15-minute self-ban for doxing. What are you going to fucking do? What are you going to do, man? Somebody could, like, mail him, like, a keyboard that's got Tabasco sauce on it. And then he's going to type one of his glorious messages into it, not realizing it's been poisoned, and his poor little butthole is going to burn. So don't do that, man. I love everyone here. You know, even people who are spreading misinformation regarding what I've been experiencing and encountering with MrBeast, which is pretty like for people with low cognitive security, that could be a little unnerving that one of the like most famous influencers in the world has been monitoring you, watching you, sending you chocolates when you have diabetes, sending you money as a joke, has been sending you Lunchables, that are actually pretty fucking good. And then, you know, you think, oh, I know what we have here, a little Hannibal Lecter. You think you could puppeteer this old man around, get him to do free ads for your Lunchables, get him to do free ads for your chocolate, get him to do free ads for those cool collectible toys that my kids love, get him to do free ads for my show, which my kids actually really love and is pretty entertaining, all this being said and done.
Velvet Jones has a super chat for you.
Velvet Jones, here's 2 business ideas for you. 1, sell dog food made out of cat poop. And 2, create a Leisure Suit Larry version of Pokemon. You know, here's the thing. I know you, like, now self-ban 3 minutes. When I get that, when I get so I've got a lot of sides to me, and one of them is like a business person. And when you come to me with a business proposal, I expect it to be great. And honestly, that is infuriating to me that you would say that Leisure Suit Larry Pokemon. How are we going to sell that? What's the marketing plan there? That's ridiculous. And Leisure Suit Larry, let me just remind you, is an adult game, much like Baldur's Gate, which I've been very addicted to. Baldur's Gate is a adult game. I would say if you're under 48, you should not be playing it. It's sort of designed for 50-year-old dads. Leisure Suit Larry, you know, we're not going to mix these worlds up. Bottom line. And the cat poop thing, you think I'm going to waste precious cat poop on dogs? Do you know how long it takes to harvest great cat poop? Do you know like what it's like running right now, what I've got running in my house? Like generating like quality cat poop. Everybody thinks all cat poop's the same. I promise you it's not. And you know what else dogs love to eat? Steak. Dogs love steak. If I was grilling the other day and I dropped a fucking steak and the fucking Cavalier like wasn't even around and then just appeared, like teleported into the grill and dragged that fucking steak off into the bushes. And, you know, I'm not going to go after it. If you got the fucking steak, you win again, Palmer. But, so just sort of, you know, it's probably hard for you, but just sort of connect the dots. Dogs like steak. Dogs like cat poop. People like steak. Fill in the blank. You know, I'm not going to say it out loud because if I do, trolls and agents of MrBeast will say I'm a man who eats cat poop and plays Baldur's Gate. Like, that's bad. And so I'm just not going to say anything. But, yeah, I'm not going to, like, go to my cat poop fucking farm and then give that to dogs any more than I'm going to go to, like, a butcher and be like, give me your finest cut. I want to feed my fucking yappy dogs.
JPM wants to know, what about vegan dogs?
You know, my dogs are vegan, which I think is why the Cavalier went for the steak. I'm guessing that the dog thought that the steak was the veggie. What are they? We give them that company that makes the lab grown meat, but basically we give them like things that look like steak. They're made out of chickpeas and sand, and you know, I'm pretty sure the dog saw that and thought, oh my God, more vegan meat, and just raced to get some delicious vegan meat. I'm not sure, but dogs are vegans. We try not to feed them meat at all. Because you know, my family loves meat, and it just feels weird to like give the dogs meat when my family loves it. You know, dog, human difference. There's a difference there, but yeah, we don't feed the dogs meat. We'll never feed the dogs meat, ever.
Dima is accusing you of eating gluten-free and CBD only.
What is this? Attack Duncan Day? What? Why are you accusing me of this? Yeah, I only eat gluten-free CBD. Dima is selling You know, if I eat fucking gluten, you should see what happens to me. You know, pull up marathon runners, nipples bleeding. Seriously, what's going on here, friends? What's going on? Seems like everybody's out to just stab me in the back today. See those pepperonis right there? Namaste. Can you pause? Just like, let's get a good shot of that. Yeah, that is what happens to me if I eat gluten. My nipples bleed right through my fucking shirt. And it's really embarrassing when that happens. You know what that's like when you're your kid's dance recital and you have a gluten communion wafer and then your nipples start fucking bleeding. It's like the worst kind of stigmata. So yeah, you got to get these nipple band-aids that these studs are putting on.
Oh, I've seen those at like dance clubs.
Yeah, same. It's the same thing. They call them pasties. And they have those at dance clubs because it's pretty common for when a dancer is like super excited, her nipples will start bleeding, or they'll start lactating, which I fucking love. Don't you love that?
When they lactate?
When you're like getting a lap dance and the stripper starts lactating, it's just the best. And just a little milk, free drinks, open bar is what we call that. So let's take some more questions. And let's keep these on the nice side, guys. I'm a little sensitive right now. I've been getting my feelings hurt with the last few comments here. I'm going to go through these and read them.
Oh, here we go.
My insurance policy weren't paid for the whole family's nipple removal surgery. Nice, Alex, and good on you for taking care of business. Stitching time saves 9. Literally was about removing your family's nipples. Because like if you don't get rid of those nipples, gluten allergies are genetic, and your kids, your grandkids are just gonna have pepperoni nipples, and that used to happen at my family gatherings. It was fucking disgusting. The uncle, it would always start with Uncle Chris. He'd be on the grill. His fucking nipples would start bleeding, pepperoni nips. And, you know, I come from like a Southern family and they just didn't feel right about putting pasties on. Then it would spread to my grandfather next. Then it would spread to like my nephews, and everyone just has these pepperoni nipples on their shirt, to the point where we started handing out Trussell family gathering shirts that had little red dots all over them so that no one could tell if all of our nipples were bleeding. Charlie Horse, thank you so much for the donation. Hi, Duncan. I've been trying to be more compassionate, but I find myself being unable to, especially with people who have genuinely wronged me. Can you help me understand compassion? Yeah, obviously. All right, let me come out of whatever that cranky thing was and try to answer that question in a serious way, without being sarcastic or stuff I love to do, because it feels vulnerable to talk about this stuff. It's easier to put on like a cranky, cynical thing than to be direct. I guess you could call it cowardice. You know, with compassion, everyone else who came here for me being a weirdo, just, go to fucking GameStop for a few minutes. I'll be right back. It's a good question. And before I even attempt to answer it, I feel obligated, though I doubt after hearing me ramble for the last hour and a half, anyone here has any questions about this. But like, I am an extremely flawed person who loves spiritual things. So that's just, first of all, let me just say that, meaning that I don't want to be a charlatan just because I can sort of say things that I've read about. Doesn't mean that I am applying them successfully most of the time. So compassion in Vajrayana Buddhism, which I study, is generally a little different from like what most people think of as compassion. So compassion is a word like love, you know, what does that even mean? What does compassion even mean? Like, you know, when people talk about compassion, they look at it as a kind of merciful attitude, or a sort of like in the quest for demonstrating compassion, a lot of like fakery happens, which is you have some kind of rough sketch in your mind of what compassion must be, and then you sort of generally you just beat yourself up because you don't execute what that is in your mind, which for a lot of people is like akin to like Jesus or something. Like it's this insane idea of what it is. So compassion is something that's cultivated. In Vajrayana Buddhism, it's called cultivation. You cultivate it. So in other words, it's not like everyone just is born compassionate. And if you've ever been to a playground, you could see this is the case. Like, and if you have kids, you could see this is the case. You could see this is the case when a toddler snatches a toy away from a baby. So we're not sort of naturally born with compassion. Thus, compassion is something you develop, you cultivate it. And so the cultivation of compassion is directly related to the Buddhist concept of emptiness. So, meaning that compassion is something that might arise naturally as you become more familiar with reality as it is versus the distortion of reality that is a quality of the neurotic mind. So to try to put that in like a more simple way, stuck in an elevator. Like, have you ever been stuck in an elevator? I haven't. I'm trying to think of an example. Or like, have you ever been like, oh, you know, this just happened to me today. I'm working on something, getting breakfast, just got a fucking blood draw. No, I don't know if that's an important detail or not, but I am a little grumpy because I'm like waiting for food, and I just got like a shit ton of blood sucked out of me because I'm diabetic and I have to like make sure the Ozempic they give me is working. Way too much detail. So this dude comes and sits next to me at the counter. And the first thing I do after thinking like, you fucking dick, you really gonna sit right next to me in this fucking wide open counter space here at this breakfast spot? And then I look around because I haven't noticed because I've been absorbed in what I'm doing. All the seats have filled up. Like, he didn't do anything wrong at all. He just wanted to eat breakfast just like me. But so because of my distorted thinking, and because of a sense of someone being too close to me, it created a kind of like quick neurotic claustrophobic sense connected to a ignorant idea. Literally, I've been ignoring everything around me about how the situation was. And so my natural response to that was the opposite of compassion. It was like, fuck you. So the idea when it comes to emptiness is that the more you begin to slow down, and the more you begin to stop avoiding the darkness inside of you, and you start like developing this practice of when shitty things come up, the shitty thing which most people have, some form of anxiety, some form of anger, some lack of forgiveness, some mind phenomena or something in your own life, a shitty roommate or whatever the sand in your oyster happens to be. Instead of using like all of the neurotic tricks to avoid it, you actually directly experience it. You let yourself feel it fully, and you kind of remove the story from it too. So instead of saying this is happening because of this, you just allow yourself to feel it minus the story. And so this is the beginning of the practice of something called metta. And so and what you're doing is you're becoming familiar with these experiences you've been avoiding in a variety of ways. And we all have incredible tricks for it. Now, if someone listening to me ramble right now could think like Baldur's Gate, you'd be like being addicted to Baldur's Gate. No. I feel like I need to say that. Baldur's Gate is a very meditative practice for me. But you could argue video games, workaholism, obsessive attitudes, blaming, sort of writing yourself into the role of a victim. All of these are ways to avoid directly feeling it. And so over time, this happens in the same way you get old, in the same way you get fat, in the same way that, slowly. But over time, you start learning this subtle method of not directly feeling. And over time, that subtle method becomes your personality, your habits. And so what you're doing in the practice of metta or meditation is you're beginning this excavation process, which is you are reverse engineering the thing that got you into the situation where you feel like you need to ignore, avoid, run away from, or run to things to not feel. And so what begins to happen is really quite incredible, which is that if you can start allowing yourself, even though it seems unbearable, like some people like going through grief or heartbreak, it can seem like I can't feel that. I can't do that. I'm not going to let myself feel that. And so you don't have to feel it for more than a second, but you start taking you start dipping your toe in that swimming pool that you've been sort of avoiding for your whole life. And the way that you dip your toe into that is so fucking fascinating. And this is the practice of metta, which is usually this happens within a sitting meditation, but you could do it in your car. You could do it right now if you wanted to. And I used to hate it because I didn't understand it. And I thought it was really stupid. But basically, so what you do is when that feeling comes, you breathe in and you imagine that you are breathing in that feeling. I mean, this is how you start with yourself. It actually expands out. But the first step is, I am feeling suffering. Like, so when we talk about compassion, we're not just talking about compassion for people outside of us, which is, it's weirdly easy to forget about ourselves. So you hear about being compassionate, and generally you leave yourself out of the equation completely. Like this you-ness thing that is suffering, whatever, it'll be fine. I'm going to have compassion for fill in the blank. And so that's where you need to start. So if you are experiencing suffering, that is a human being experiencing suffering in the world. That's a human being feeling. That's you. And you're experiencing suffering. That's whatever that feeling is. And so instead of running away from it, you're letting yourself feel it, minus the story, and then you imagine yourself breathing in hot, thick, black mist, which sounds crazy. That's why I used to hate it. It's like, I don't want to breathe in fucking hot, thick, black mist. Now, there is a step I've left out. And this is the other part of it. And I just don't want to complexify things. But no doubt, underneath all that shitty feelingness stuff, there is the feeling you get sometimes, maybe rarely. I hope it isn't rare for you. For your kids, for someone you love, for even if it's a memory. And that's that feeling they call your heart. And so that is the most incredible feeling. Now, a lot of us, because of these habits we've developed, we're afraid of that feeling for some reason. Or if you do get that feeling, usually you think you're about to get your heart broken. Because a lot of times that vulnerable open space is followed by disappointment. And so there's that fucking feeling that always gets me into trouble. So that's called bodhicitta, the awakened mind. And you can cultivate that, but you can flash on it. You might not, I can't maintain that, but I do know what that is, and I know how to get there. So you flash on that. So this is just remember that. It doesn't have to be anything. It's nothing special. It's just, that you have experienced joy. You know that you've experienced overwhelming love. You know that you've experienced all the things preceding heartbreak, or all the things that you think were yanked away from you by the cruel universe. That's a possibility. You felt it. So flash on that. And then Start breathing in that thick black smoke. And so then when you exhale, you imagine yourself breathing out like radiant, cool white light, and your body is actually emanating bright white light. And so the way they put this is you're sort of reversing the process that got you into the situation of confusion. And it sounds absolutely idiotic I thought that for years. I hated it when people started talking about it. I hate it when I read about it. I just thought it was so dumb. But if you just start experimenting with it, what will happen, which is really incredible, is pretty quickly when those feelings emerge, instead of trying to avoid them, you think, oh, there it is. It's like, the one description is you sit in the forest, and if you get really quiet, animals start coming out. And so it's like this thing pokes its head out. And so this is called, these things can be self-liberated, and they're called kleshas. And so the self-liberating quality of them, in other words, they want to be free. Like there is an impulse within them not to be stuck, like anything else, like water, like I don't know, balloons, in a car. You open the door, they want to go up in the sky. It's like that. It wants to be liberated. So that this space, this meta space, sort of creates a natural valve that they can get out of. And so over time, you just start feeling spacious, a little less stuck, and a little more capable of sort of dropping the story. And so the compassion, to answer your question, because you have begun this exploration of yourself via non-ignorance or confrontation, I think that's a rough word for it because it implies a fight, like awareness of these negative sort of kleshas. If you're logical, you can think, I think other people are pretty much like me. Meaning the next step would be, let's say that you're feeling a classic parental anxiety. You're trying to get some work done, and your kids are like being super loud. Your wife's tired, and you're going to have to forego this thing that you're trying to do and help. You're going to have to go from this, what you maybe have told a story, I got to do this for my family, versus actually helping my family. So you're having this classic experience. And it's suffering, essentially, some flavor of suffering. Now, what you can extrapolate from that is, I bet I'm not the only parent feeling this right now. I bet there's a fuck ton of us out there right now feeling the anxiety, like, man, I gotta get this done. I gotta do this. Like, how do I balance this and that? How do I be a good dad and also make good stuff? And I bet there's a lot of people feeling that. And so then that's where compassion starts. You're naturally understanding yourself, and that, number one, you didn't choose to feel like that. It just pops up. They probably didn't choose to feel like that either. That's just suffering. And so then, now you're not just breathing in your own darkness. You imagine you're breathing in all of their suffering too. And you can also just do this for people you love. Usually the phases of this start with like someone that you're concerned about, who you love, and they're suffering. So you're doing this and you're breathing in their suffering, breathing out light. And then it expands to people you don't know might be suffering like that. And then, God help us all, it expands to the people you can't forgive. Good luck with that one. Person who's a real piece of shit. Whoever you can't forgive, whoever hurt you and did the thing. And so, but this is phases, you need to first be able to do it for yourself. How the fuck are you going to be able to do it for some asshole who banged your girl in a nightclub, who fingered her under the table while you went up to get margaritas, if you can't even do it for yourself? So you start with yourself and you expand it out. And then eventually you could theoretically get to the point where this encompasses not just all beings on Earth, but all sentient beings in the universe. And this process produces a kind of natural, spontaneous compassion that emerges, because you'll notice that the way you behave when you are frustrated is different from the way you behave when you're not. The way you behave when you feel like things are going your way is usually pretty open-hearted, pretty sweet, pretty generous. These are called the paramitas in Buddhism. Pretty patient. This is like you're having a great day. You just got that Pokemon box set that you just didn't think you were going to get at GameStop. You're so happy. You walk out of GameStop with a big smile on your face, waving to people. They applaud. You're going to be nicer. But let's imagine that you're not walking out of GameStop. Let's imagine you're walking out of the fucking doctor's office. He just told you got fucking diabetes. You got to deal with this now, man. You could have a stroke. Probably the way you're going to be treating people isn't going to be the most kind way because that story is reverberating in your head. So suffering induces a kind of a sort of series of kleshas that generally involve selfishness, impatience, aggression. And so logically, if there were a way to sort of get all that ink out of your printer, so to speak, so the printer can't print that shit anymore. It's not there anymore. It's self-liberated. Then this spontaneous compassion would emerge. Not just because you're out of shit printer ink, but because you have begun to see yourself and other people from a deep exploration of yourself. And so if someone's being a complete asshole, it's not that hard to put two and two together and think, oh, I know how that feels, man. I know what that's like. And then instead of being like, I ought to break your fucking nose. I know what my fucking girl's pussy smells like. It's all of your fingers. You fingered her. Well, I went to get you drinks. You look and you say, you think to yourself, I fingered your girlfriend under the table 2 weeks ago. I know what that's like. And that's how compassion, that's the kind of compassion that's real versus the fake compassion, fake forgiveness, where you just want to feel like a good person. So you're like, I've forgiven that person, but you're still bugged by it. It's still in there. It hurts. It's there. It's there. You haven't really gotten the pebble out of your shoe. You've just tricked yourself into thinking that feeling that you're experiencing is unrelated or something. So, that's my sort of rough understanding of it. I hope that helps you somehow.
Oh, we got to reload it.
I think we're figuring out that after a certain amount of time, or theoretically after a spiritual rant, YouTube is like, shut the fuck up. Like somehow the algorithm, after it finishes puking, here we go, another bearded asshole talking about Buddhism. It's like, just kick his ass off, dude. This is hurting us as a company. Oh, look, you've got them all up for me. Thank you.
This is the next one.
Duncan, do you believe in prayer etiquette? Does it make a difference to close your eyes, fold your hands, kneel? Thoughts on what makes prayer impactful for you? P.S. Love the solo episodes. Thank you, Julian. You know what, man? I'm so happy you asked this because my wife was like getting the kids to pray and to fold their hands. And like, I just went full, like I ain't folding my hands. That was so funny that I care. Like I will fucking do, like Miss Rachel will be doing dances. I'll happily do like flap your hands like a bee or whatever. But somehow in this case, something from like my childhood came up. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. So lame. And what I love about Christianity is it really fucks with your ego, man. Like it really will like sort of force an egoic reaction. I'm too cool to do that, or I'm not going to do bow or whatever. This is so weird. Like, but so prayer etiquette, what you're talking about is mudras. And so this is a mudra that isn't just in Christianity. This is a mudra across the board. And so, though I'm not up to date on this and I haven't really studied it that much, apparently these mudra, like obviously energy's moving through your body. And so when you put your body in a certain form, you know what I mean? You're actually moving energy through your body in a different way. And apparently there's certain mudras. What is it? This one everyone fucking does.
Is this one? We're doing
this.
Where you go like this.
This?
No, you put the power or whatever.
This?
I think that's vagina. But you put your knuckles and you go like that.
That means vagina?
This does.
Sign language?
But then doing this, like when you're having a business meeting.
Oh, yeah. At a business meeting, this means like, you should trust me. But basically, these are all mudras, and I just briefly read something about how, and in magical ceremonies also there's like hand symbols and stuff that you do, which apparently like focuses energy in different ways. But I remember reading something C.S. Lewis wrote about like, should you kneel to pray? And you know, C.S. Lewis, he's probably gonna say yes, but you know, I guess what do they call it? There's a name for it in India, which is where you prostration. So you might go to the deities and like fully lay on your stomach like that. And so you see it in the in Islam too. You see it in the prayer rituals that they do. And all of these things are sort of like signaling to your ego that you don't think you're the, you know, top of the charts. You're not God. You are humbling yourself in this profound way that represents surrender, I guess you could say. So all of these forms, I think when it comes to Christianity, if we're going to talk about like theism, I would say all these forms are ways of reminding yourself that you are no longer putting yourself in the precarious and generally embarrassing situation of imagining that you're God. And so it's a humbling sort of thing where you are recognizing that there are potentially, this does not apply to me, but potentially there could be something more intelligent in the universe than you. And I know this is why a lot of people watch this, is because I am the smartest being in the universe. And so I honestly, I don't get the luxury of doing that because it would be dishonest. But for everyone else, you know, you should do that. And that's coming from the smartest man on earth and in the universe. That's a good question. Thanks, Julian.
You got two more here.
Jai Hanuman. For those of you who don't know, Jai, this is a Bhakti Yoga salutation. So Kelavan is a Hanuman devotee. In Vaishnava Bhakti Yoga, they have different versions of that, but it's sort of a celebratory, happy thing. Thank you, Kelavan.
And then this one at the end.
Thank you. That truly helped me very much. Oh, Charlie, just revoke the $5, man. It's ridiculous. You paid $15 to get my dumbass to ramble about compassion and more than likely give a fairly you know what? You just listen to the audiobook I'm listening to, which is Pema Chodron's Start Where You Are. And that book has everything you need to know about like metta, compassion. It's the Lojong mind training, which I love, which is a set of phrases or reminders that get you right back on the path. And it's Pema Chodron is fucking great. My teacher was a student of Chogyam Trungpa. She is a student of Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche. And wow, really, really good, man. And just the best at talking about this stuff in a real down-to-earth way that I obviously, because I haven't figured it out fully, I can't do that.
Oh, you got one here. They're saying that you're not the smartest man. You're the sixth.
And that's coming from Tomite, too.
No. Okay.
Oh, I know what you're referring to. Okay, well, and I'm going to address that right now. Yes, I know what you're saying. There was a bit of a controversy, me getting shifted down the list to 6. Thank you for bringing that up, by the way. As it turns out, the way that they were sort of coming up with that, I won't get into the math. None of you would understand, but was incorrect. And after they did that, I spent about 2 days in my lab on the whiteboard looking through every single calculation that they did. And as it turns out, they had completely fucked up some just basic calculus. And so I sent them the correction and it confirmed what I already knew, which was I was number 1 on the list. So it was actually a quantification error on their part. So number 1 feels good too. Feels good. I love it. It's like so fun to be the smartest person on earth.
You don't feel a burden?
What?
You don't feel a burden?
I feel burdened when people like you ask questions like that.
Oh, okay.
It feels like, it's like what you just did. One of my favorite things to do, watching my stallions run. After like a hard day of podcasting, I go back, sit on the back porch, and I just love, I say, let the stallions run. And they run. They run and run and run. Chad, Gary. Beautiful bodies pulsing with life. Beautiful. But then, the other day, one of them slipped and got like a grass stain on his glute. So now this beautiful glute, just the human body is just so incredible. As someone who is like deeply familiar with the Fibonacci spiral, when you see Chad's glutes, I'll send you some pics. Like, this is just like proof of God, proof of something. And he slips, and now there's a grass stain. That's how I feel right now when people like you ask me questions. Like, it's just like that. It's like I could still enjoy it. It's not the same. Now there's a grass stain on Chad's ass, and it just sucks. So refrain. Thank you. I think how long has this been? See, when I do this, it feels like seconds have gone by.
An hour 37.
Okay, what's your time frame here? I still have a little bit of time.
I'm good.
Okay, Schmo49, here we go. Is there a way to bring that up on the screen?
No, I didn't need to get that other one.
Schmo49 just said, we're all gonna fucking die in nuclear fire, and you're here listening to this bearded, shrill
hippie.
Look up what shrill means. I have a feeling whatever this means doesn't. Oh. What is the meaning of the word shrill? Having or emitting a sharp hype. Go back. Schmo49. Well. Look what we have here. Snake in the grass. Snake in the grass. See, this is what happens, my friends. You can expect this. Don't dox. Don't dox. Don't attack. Children, you see, unfortunately, it doesn't matter what kind of garden you try to grow. Try to grow a garden filled with the most ripe, delicious tomatoes. You still might get a snake out there. Even the Lord God himself. He crafts himself a beautiful garden. The Garden of Eden. Who is he putting there? Take care of it. Adam. That's the first man. Places Adam in this beautiful garden. Beautiful. Just think of the Garden of Eden. Fruit trees of all kinds. Apple. Other fruits. I can't think of any right now at this moment other than apple. Apple trees growing everywhere. Apple upon apple. We love apples. There's no other kind of fruit. In fact, that's the only fruit tree grew. I was just joking that in that moment I couldn't think of a fruit other than apple. And it was all apple trees everywhere. Beautiful orchard of just apples. You got red and greens all about. And then somehow that's not enough. It wasn't enough for Adam. Now the ingratitude. What man wouldn't be thrilled to be alone in an orchard full of all these apples to eat? Solitary. Just every crunch for you and you alone. Now that's the gift of the Creator. But Adam, unsatisfied with the joyful predicament of being in an apple orchard by himself, had the gall to mope about. The gall. He felt lonely. Now, any real man, any real God-fearing man never feels lonely in an orchard. No man feels lonely in an apple orchard especially. Now, I could understand feeling lonely in an orange orchard. But an apple orchard, I'd never feel more at peace. And yet Adam felt alone. And so the Lord, in his compassion and mercy, took a rib from Adam. And from that he created woman, Eve. Now we got problems. There's already a red flag. One of my friends told me once that he took a hike through an apple orchard. And he felt more lonely than he ever felt in his life. Slapped him across the face, never talked to him again. Perhaps God should have started over, squashed Adam, turned him back to clay and resculpted an alpha. Named him Alpha instead of Adam. There's an alpha male, a wolf in the orchard. Read my book, Wolf in the Orchard, coming out on Lighthouse. It will be available on Audible. And so, one day, I guess Eve was frolicking around that orchard. And lo and behold, she found two trees. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil, tree of life. Before she could get up there, God said, don't you touch that. I forgot I had left those there. It's supposed to be only apples. Well, God went off, take a nap. And lo and behold, what'd she see squirming up there in that tree? She saw herself a snake. Clever snake. I'm pretty sure I know what that snake said to her first. That snake said, Eve, we're all going to die in a nuclear fire. And here you are, listening to some supposed God talk about his stallions. And she said, I don't think he was talking about stallions. He said I shouldn't eat these fruits. And the snake said, I don't know. I've been a little confused lately. The only thing to eat around here is fruit. I got high blood sugar. And she said, all right. So what? And he said, well, so what? Maybe it's time for you to take a bite of this new fruit. And she said, I don't think so. I just love apples. And the snake said, how do you know that they're in a better fruit? Take a look at this. She looked at it, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Grapefruit. Grapefruit tree. Evil grapefruit. That's why I won't touch them. If you got to sugar your fruit, that ain't fruit. That's poison. But Eve, being a woman, not only did she take a bite of that grapefruit, and I immediately understand, I know what happened. Her face scrunched up like she had one of them warheads. The warheads that the snake is so fearsome, afraid of. Warheads. They make your face scrunch up. They shouldn't sell them. They sell them at the filling stations. I had one. Made my face scrunch up. Well, she took that grapefruit back to Adam. Probably thought it'd be funny to watch a man's face scrunch, because women like it when their man bunches up their face. It's funny. And he'd take a scoop of that fruit, and his face scrunched up. And the Lord appeared and said, did you two eat my fruit? And, he already knew, because they were probably both scrunching up their face. And they lied. Said, I didn't eat your grapefruit. I didn't eat that fruit. Long and short of it is, there's always a snake in the garden telling you not to bite that grapefruit. Or eat the grapefruit, rather. It would be nice if there had been another snake to say grapefruit's a shitty fruit. Things might have turned out differently. But unfortunately, we got a snake in the garden. Don't even scroll back. I never want to see that name again. I'm going to have to get myself another Renegade Rogue. Shrill! You say I'm shrill! Oh, and I guess I shouldn't talk about my stallions. I should talk about nuclear fire. That's what you'd like. If I was up here yapping like Marilyn Manson. Talk about us burning up in fire instead of Chad's glutes rippling in that Texas sun. Free, happy. The man loves to run around my yard. Self-ban, 45-minute self-ban. They told me YouTube was a fierce place, but I never knew. I never knew snakes could type. Guess you used your little snake head to type that message out, didn't you? Somebody let you out of the aquarium. Clever snake squirmed out, laying on your warming rock. Came out of your aquarium to try to hurt my feelings. Clearly, you need to look up what shrill means. Clearly, you need to look that word up if you think I have a shrill voice. I've never heard that before in my life. Every single person I've ever met says I have the voice of an angel, a very masculine angel, strong, firm, a commanding voice, the voice of a leader. Shrill. Get back on your warming stone, devil snake. Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, 2 more right here.
Matt Berry is like the best ever. You fucking kidding me? I love Matt Berry. He's the best. Just a fucking genius. Yeah, it's the craziest thing that I even get to be on Crapopolis with him. I mean, it's crazy. I've been watching him forever. What We Do in Shadows. Give me a fucking break. Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Are you kidding? Not only that, but on top of like being the coolest, fucking most talented, coolest, sexy, badass, he's like, oh, I guess I'll just like release the best music ever. Alien, I don't know, Alien. Yeah, that was one of those things where sort of like when I realized I get to be on a show with him, that's the kind of thing that makes you think, oh, I died, or it's a simulation, or I'm having some kind of like near-death experience where my brain is just putting weird shit together. But yeah, I love Matt Berry. How do you not like Matt? Who doesn't like him? He's one of those people I think is universally loved. I don't think I've ever read a shitty thing about Matt Berry. I'm sure Matt Berry, when he's doing podcasts like this, I'm sure he does these all the time, doesn't have fucking, no one calls him shrill.
B wants to know, how do you like them apples?
I love apples. I love apples, B. I'm a man. Every man loves apples. Trust me, if you're a man and you're not eating apples every day, bowls of apples, sliced apples, I'll tell you, nothing I love more when I'm sitting on the porch watching Chad run is I have Aaron bring me out a china plate with apples with almond butters, just creamed on the top. And I watch him run, and I just eat those apples slow and gentle, so they don't run out. And he knows I'm eating the apples. He loves it. Every crunch. He does a little jump. And it is just a delight. I couldn't do it without y'all. I'm going to take these glasses off. They're too dark.
Davey wants to know, Sir Duncan, will you release an album for deaf people called Music from an Apple?
Yeah, I already did. Check it out. It's incredible. The oddball is saying, feels like the simulation is about to crash. It's just more of the same shit, man. It's always like this. It's pretty much always like, I mean, that's the thing is when you start realizing, like, how many times, I guess, you know, at some point you realize, like, and maybe this is just part of getting older. At some point you just realize, like, being terrified all the time doesn't seem to have much of an effect on world events. In other words, like, the Snake Man is worried that we're going to get burned up in nuclear fire. He might be joking, being sarcastic, but there are people who spend every day, even before the shit that happened out there happened, worrying that they're going to be incinerated in a nuclear blast. And they've been thinking that for a long time. Now, I would say the odds of any of us being incinerated in a nuclear blast, first of all, the person who wrote that obviously doesn't really understand. The odds are more, I mean, just you should be a little more specific. I would say the odds are probably more that you would die of radiation poisoning. So if you wanted to be a little more accurate, I would say we're probably going to die from radiation poisoning. Or even more accurate, you could say we're probably going to starve to death because of the nuclear winter. I would say the odds are pretty good. No one here is going to get incinerated in a nuclear blast. Starve to death, maybe. When the crops all die. Maybe starve to death. Get beaten to death or something in the chaos that ensues. But I doubt you're going to be one of the lucky ones. Kind of optimistic if you think about it. But you sort of, what's the use, man? Like, the odds are, like, the way you die is probably going to be unexpected or annoying, or you're just going to be like, seriously? That'll be your last thought. Seriously? Like those people on that plane. How many of them were like, seriously? How many of them were like, what the fuck? The movie screen doesn't work. Are you fucking kidding me? This is a flight all the way to London. I wanted to watch the new Deadpool. Are you fucking kidding me? Why does this always fucking happen to me? Are you fucking kidding me? So now not only am I in a middle seat, but now I don't get to watch the new fucking, and then they're like, are you serious? And that's their last thought. That's more like what happens, I would say. So being afraid of any like global catastrophe is like probably a projection of your fear of your own demise, which is certain. And so what are you going to do? Like wander around every day being terrified of dying? The problem is fear is cold anger. Fear turns into anger. So that's if you notice the world is full of angry people, you could also say, well, the world is full of scared people. And if people who aren't scared don't really get angry in the normal sense of the term. Now, you might have fear of being taken advantage of, fear of being exploited or whatever. It's not all nuclear fire fear, but fear just turns into, when it gets hot, it turns into this ferocious anger. But I wouldn't be worried about, I mean, you go ahead and be worried about it if you want, but that's not going to do much other than just make you a worried person or a scared person. Certainly not going to help the situation. I mean, in Buddhism, there actually is something called the gift of fearlessness, where if you can actually, like, that's an offering to the world, is to not be afraid. Because scared people, actually, if you're around someone who isn't scared, you will stop being scared. Just some basic human, like, why aren't they secreting fear juice right now? I guess everything's okay. But, yeah, I'm not afraid of. I was, watching all the shit going down last night. And just realized, like, what am I doing? Like, why am I sitting here all scared of what? That doesn't look good.
That's happening right now in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, what's scary about that? Just missiles landing in Israel. What's scary? Why would any of that scary at all? Just missiles landing in Israel.
Like 2 minutes ago.
Are you really going to be scared of something that we've been reading about in the book of Revelations if you're a Christian for a long time? You be scared of the biblical prophecy coming true when you got 3 kids. You're going to be scared of that? Pull that back up. When did that happen? What time is it?
It happened 2 minutes ago.
Let me check in on my family.
Oh, shit.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, 2 minutes ago.
Well, go up on YouTube. Pull up a stallion running. I'll close it out on this.
Oh, misspelled that.
I got to get back. If this shit's going down, I got to at least finish my run through of Baldur's Gate. I don't want a stallion ruined by a woman. Just find a stallion free. I don't need some lady ruining a stallion. There we are.
This one.
Oh, yeah. Pull it up. Look at that. Free as a bird. Free as a bird. Running free. Running free. That's right. Free as a bird. A black horse. A black horse running. Pull up a pale horse running. Pull up 4 horses, Josh. Pull up 4 beautiful horses running. There's 2. Pull up 4. A red horse, a black horse, a white horse. There we go. There we go. That's 7. That's 8 horses. I want to see 4 goddamn horses running, Josh, not 8. I want to see a horse that represents war, a horse that represents plague. It's crazy. You'd think that you could see 4 horses running, not just one at a time, but I guess when you think about it, pull up that little pony right there. Riding the Shetland. There we go. A pale horse right there. A pale horse. And while she runs, I'm going to close out on a biblical verse. And you all just enjoy that little person running. Little gnome on a horse. I'm going to pull up something for you to read, contemplate. I parked in the driveway. That was a mistake. Where the hell is it? There we are. The next thing I saw was this. When the Lamb had opened one of the 7 seals, I heard one of the 4 living creatures say in a voice like thunder, "Come." And as I watched, there was a white horse. Its rider was holding a bow. He was given a crown, and he went off winning victories and to win more of them. When the Lamb opened the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd living creature say, "Come." And another horse went out. Fire it. Pull up a red horse. Damn it, Josh. A red horse running. A red Shetland with a little... There we are. There we are. That's just perfect. When the Lamb opened the 2nd seal, what the hell? Can you not loop it? We just keep playing it over and over. Then when the Lamb opened, I'll read this one fast. When the Lamb opened the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd living creature say, "Come." And another horse went out, fiery red this time. A checkered background behind it. Trapped in a rectangle. Okay, now, you know which horse to go. Do you know what color horse we need now? What's the 3rd horse, Josh?
Burgundy?
Black, not burgundy. Black horse running. There we go. Beautiful black horse. When the Lamb opened the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd horse creature say, "Come." The 3rd living creature, not a horse creature, "Come." As I watched, there's a black horse. The rider held a pair of scales in his hand. I heard something like a voice coming from the midst of the 4 living creatures. "I'm sorry, that ain't an ounce. Your scale's broken." He said, "Well, then go to another ketamine dealer." Now let's go to the 4th seal.
What was the other horse?
You should know this.
Pale, red, black, and...
This is a pale horse.
Oh.
Pull up that screenshot from that man from GameStop. Do you have that screenshot?
Oh, yes.
There we are. When the Lamb opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature say, "Come." And as I looked, there was a pale man wearing a hoodie, holding his finger to the sky on the way to get Pokemon cards. And its rider says his name is Death. Hades followed along behind him. They were given 5 boxes of Pokemon cards. They resold them on Amazon for triple the price, making it so my children could not get these cards. Accurate, man. Don't be afraid. You know, we know these things have been planned since the beginning of time. Don't need to be afraid. Unless you're a snake in the grass. Unless you're the one whose name shall never be spoken again on this podcast, uttering blasphemies against me. I would be afraid if I were you. In these days, everybody else here will be safe and fine. Book of life written down. In fact, you should be rejoicing. You should be very happy. Oh, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Do you know a place to get like a shit ton of water around here? I probably should go buy a bunch of water. And
The water
supplies.
store down the street.
Okay, yeah. Are you gonna get some supplies?
I've been ready.
Okay, great. All right, cool. You guys have fun. Don't be afraid. Shit, man. I got to find the key to my gun safe.